Ebbers.
Boys, gadget number 1 is under the cloche. Give it a lift.
Whoops. Well, it's got to be something cake orientated, right?
It feels like a spring form baking tin.
But not spring form. Frost form.
So today we have a number of kitchen gadgets that you have requested we get in front of our Chef Ben and normal Jamie. They're going to test them out, give their thoughts, give them a bit of a review, and we're going to have a ton of fun, hopefully.
So this is, I imagine, for cake decorating, for soft frosting, rather than on a turntable getting the perfect shape. You just put it in here and you frost it and you can peel it off afterwards.
Ebbers, that is bang on. Do you work for Frostform?
No, I'm just very good at reading. I'm just very good at reading.
It's time to revolutionise your cake experience. No more spending hours frosting your cakes. Let Frostform do the work for you. Our Frostform kits have everything you need to change your cake life for the good. Frostform allows you to pour your cake frosting within specifically designed wraps, eradicating the need for manual frosting and smoothing.
If this works, I'm not going to lie, this is revolutionary and it is a game changer because I can bake a cake. I'm not bad at baking cakes. That's fine. I can follow a recipe and I can bake it. What I cannot do any better than a 4-year-old
is plating.
Decorate it.
Oh, sorry.
Ebbers, you have some wedding cake making experience, don't you?
Yeah, I like a naked cake. Scratched and edged because, again, to Jamie's point, it's more rustic and you can get away with murder.
I think the best way to give this a test is to actually give it a test.
Let's give it a test.
Let's decorate a cake. Okay, you have some cakes.
We have a whole cow's worth of butter.
You have butter, you have buttercream, and you have the ingredients for the white chocolate butter ganache that live on the Frostform website. They have multiple recipes for buttercreams, but we've picked this ganache one because it has been designed to work with the Frostform.
So one Perspex thing, one peel to reveal thing, all 7-inch kit.
Yeah, they do kits available in 5 to 10-inch sizes. This is the 7-inch.
Base.
Non-stick.
Non-stick film.
And it comes with that 7-inch cutter. If you cut out the cake using that.
Hugely wasteful, but what we want is a flat top. We'll use the edges for something else.
Thank you.
I'm going to be honest, typically, as an eating experience, you'd want to layer that probably three times,
yeah.
So you've got lots of layer.
Smearing my blobs.
Okay, so our Frostform liner base on our Frostform base, followed by our crumb cutter, and then that goes in.
Don't we need another blob in the middle first?
Okay, cake number 1.
There you go.
Force it round.
Yeah.
I'd say it's less of a slide, but it is a tight fit. They also recommend doing this with fridge cold cake, which, to be fair, we haven't got.
So now we repeat the process.
Oh,
like it. That is so satisfying. Oh, I like that. Make sure your cake and liner are properly centered using the guide on your liner base. Slide your crumb cutter halfway up.
Halfway up?
Yep. Then place your cake in the fridge for about 45 minutes or until your frosting is completely firm and set.
get it in the fridge. We'll come back to it for part 2. Gadget number 2 is under the cloche.
Oh, I didn't expect that to happen.
Slidey, slidey, it's quite a weight on that ball bearing. What's going in there that needs a shock?
Is it? It's not to get like the yolk out of a quail's egg or something, is it?
It's to cut the top off of an egg. Now you've mentioned it, Jay.
Yeah?
I wouldn't have got there if you hadn't mentioned a quail. But now all I can think of, I think possibly as a serving vessel with a raw egg. I've seen Martin Bluenos. Do you remember?
There's
What
a
a
name.
gent. What a gent. We haven't met him for probably a decade. He used to have an amazing dish that was served in an eggshell.
Yeah, it looked like a boiled egg,
But it was a dessert.
but it was a dessert.
Yeah.
Strap in, lads. This is the Erschalen Solbrotstellen Ursula,
Are you sure?
which translates to the eggshell breaking point causer. It doesn't translate to anything, let's be honest. I'm so sorry. No more broken eggshells or wasting perfectly good eggs ever again. This super convenient egg cracker will break every egg with precision to avoid messy cleanup during cooking. Just raise the ball and drop it. The weight of the ball cracks the egg. Lift the eggshell off easily with a hand or knife. There are no eggshell pieces to worry about in your delicious dish.
I'm just teasing it.
You're warming it up.
And then You've got a table knife, Jay.
Now what?
There's a bowl there. So if we're cooking and making an omelette, what we've done is absolutely no risk of shell and no mess. Except that an egg is filled beyond the crack point, so when you remove its hat...
It does spill out a bit.
The surface tension isn't enough.
But that's kind of fun, isn't it?
That is good.
What I like is that can now be washed up and could be used as a serving vessel, and that's what I remember.
Says the person that doesn't have kids. That is now the perfect face.
Yes.
That is a head with a hat.
And
yes.
What you can do is put cotton wool in it, soften it, and put some cress seeds in it, and you can grow hair.
Yep.
I snorted that.
That's how much you enjoyed that. One more go, see if it does it on a different
Can I
egg.
have a go?
Yeah, you have a go.
This gadget has actually been around for centuries. So it's not a new
That one
thing
came
to
straight
hit the
off.
market.
My gravity was stronger than your gravity, and it came straight off.
It was.
One of the selling points for the marketing around this gadget was it's geared towards presentation for egg enthusiasts.
If you were to now use this egg to make a beautiful chocolate mousse and to pipe it back in, it's a wonderful little canapé item. You could do it with savoury custards, cheese custards, and actually bake them. I think there's lots of things you could do as a presentation. If it's purely about getting into your eggs without eggshells, there are perfectly good other ways.
Kush has been using this. Would you like to see what he's come up with?
Yes.
Boys, you have egg, bacon and cheese custard tarts.
Amazing.
Fab.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Oh, cheesy, smoky bacon, salty. If you serve that to me on a breakfast buffet, I'll be very happy.
Well, let's talk price. How much do you think this gadget sells for?
$14.99.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be more than that, but that sounds fair.
Well, coming in at just under £10, this sells for £9.96.
It's a good price for something that I don't know how often I'd use it.
Do you know what? At that price, it's worth getting one for your next dinner party just to do that as a little amuse-bouche, because, try that, Mike, it's absolutely delicious.
I mean, it's the very definition of a single-use gadget.
Correct.
There is.
No, you could do it for an amuse-bouche with a savoury custard, and then you could do it as a pre-dessert for
my goodness.
like a regular custard, couldn't you?
Wow, that's insane.
I have to be honest, it's such a simple design. All that it's using is the wonders of gravity. I wasn't convinced it was going to be that good, but it did exactly what it wanted, and I think for that price, it's a fun thing to play with.
I've no idea where I'd use one, but for 10 quid, it's at a price that it doesn't really matter.
Great. Well, the question you're obviously waiting to be asked is it a bit of a white or a shell of a gadget?
It's a bit of a white, that.
That's a bit of a white.
Okay, boys, you have some coloured white chocolate butter ganache. A lovely pastel pink you've chosen.
Salmon.
Very nice. Salmon. Great.
Peel and reveal.
Peel to reveal.
I could have done better without that. Oh, look at this. Challenging that. Look at that.
I don't know what happened in the time it was in the fridge, but I feel like the sarcasm.
I don't want to
dial
hate
got
on this, but
turned up.
so far, it's making my life more difficult. What's next, Jay?
Place a small item into the centre of your former. We've got a tin. Place the cake on top of our item. Wrap this around, making sure that
That
the
on the
angled bit is on the outside.
Around here.
Yep, and then into the former.
Yep.
Now we hold our former and lift it up to easily slide the cake into the former. There you go, that's it. We're getting to the parts now.
We're getting to it.
Cover the top of your cake with your frosting. Use your frost finisher or a scraper to scrape around and tidy up the top of the cake if needed. You can also gently tap your frost form on your counter to help level out the top and remove any bubbles.
This is definitely aimed at us.
That's the thing for me, and this is why I really hope that it works, because we bake cakes and decorate them twice a year. Once in July for one kid's birthday, and once in November for another kid's birthday.
Yeah.
And it's always stressful, and it never looks however you want it to look, and so I end up spending money with a local business who I love, and they do an amazing job, and I don't have to have the embarrassment of turning up to my kid's party and
With a cake that you made?
With a cake that I made, and them going, don't you work in food? This is your job, isn't it?
I'm trying to stay positive, but should we chill it and see?
Let's chill it.
While we wait for that, you've planned a little surprise that we're going to unveil to Jay and Baz now. Can you read that, please?
Okay.
Oh. At the Sorted Live Washed Up weekend show, Barry, Jamie, Ben, James, Kush and Mike will be placed in secret teams.
Oh, what?
The community will score your performances throughout the weekend and you will accrue points for your teams. You won't know who is in each team or the total points tally until revealed at the end of the weekend,
Should we be playing traitors?
with a lovely prize for the winners and something different for the losers.
Superb work, everyone. This is going to be absolutely amazing. If you want to join us for over 12 hours of cooking trials, fun and phenomenal food in our new, improved, washed up live weekend show, you can find all the information using the QR code or with the link below, and you can watch live or on demand any time that suits you. Can't wait for this one. Number 3, lift the cloche.
It's got a plug, which I'm already confused by because it looks like a draining rack.
It does look like a draining rack. It looks like somewhere between a draining rack and a knife block and a chopping board holder.
With possibly a light at the bottom? Is that a bowl? Is it a power button? No idea.
This is the sterilizable knife block. This is not your regular knife block. This kitchen must-have features UV lamps to sterilize your kitchen utensils by destroying the DNA and RNA structure of viruses and bacteria, with fans pushing 70°C air through the device to keep the knife block and knives dry.
So this is the logic that pathogens you want to denature in some form, and heat will do that, which is why you always sterilize under boiling water or steam. I didn't know that UV light did that.
Yes.
I know that UV light shows where there's things.
No, that's a black light.
Is that not the same thing?
Oh, is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Do you want to plug it in and try it?
Yeah.
Our instruction manual is entirely in Chinese.
Right.
So this is going to be very much a insert, press the button, and we'll figure it out.
I mean, that's pointless because it's not all going to go in.
Yeah, but you do one side and you can do the other. You can always do the other. You can do the other end, can't you? You can turn it around.
It's
Don't be
like when
lazy.
you have a piece of toast too big for the toaster.
Yeah.
You know, you put it in and then you turn it around.
Oh, don't give me this.
Right, push the button, let's see what happens.
That's the button.
45, is that how much long it takes? 45 minutes or seconds?
Seconds, it should
Oh, okay.
be. It's minutes! 45 minutes? Yeah.
I'll just do it washing up.
So you can hear the fan going on.
Yeah.
That's going to go through the UV cycle and the drying to make sure that there's no damp in there.
We can't really test it without a swab test.
No.
And I haven't got any of those with me, so...
Okay, so let's just make the assumption for the sake of conversation that the UV is going to kill the bacteria. So as a storage, knife block, chopping board, whatever.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
No.
Let's just bypass the thing that it
we
says
have
that
no
it does.
control over that right now.
We can't test it, we just have to presume. But what we can also presume is it's definitely not sterilising the handles.
There we go.
And therefore, the moment you pick your knife up, the handle is now on this hand, and then you touch this or your board or whatever, and it's, you know, bacteria transfers. So it's pointless.
I think this is a great time to talk about price.
I don't know if it
Would you
is.
like to guess how much this sells for?
I can imagine this being £100.
£65.
It's £80 and 29p once you've converted it.
Knife blocks range from £10 upwards, and you can get fancy designed ones. You have ones with got like the brushes in them so that it keeps your knife shut. Like, you could spend a lot of money on a knife block if you wanted to. This also does another job, potentially. But £80 is a lot of money. Is a lot of money.
Problem is, the job it's doing isn't enough. And I don't like the fact that it's claiming to sterilise your knives, but 2/3 of the knife is hanging out the block. Which, especially if you've been handling raw meat and bits of space, then actually, that's where the germ's gonna be as much, if not more so, than the blade.
So the sterilisable knife block, is it a cut above or a bit blunt?
It's not a bit blunt, it's very blunt.
I can see what it's trying to do, and I think for some people they will find it helpful. But I think it's a bit blunt.
Okay, we have a solidified cake. It's been in the fridge for 3 to 4 hours. It's completely solid. So we are now at the reveal stage.
So being a white chocolate and butter
Frosting.
it's incredibly solid fridge cold, because both those things are thick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peel to reveal.
Peel to reveal.
Smooth. That is smoother than any cake I've ever frosted.
Wow.
There's a seam there.
We did have a pocket here.
and scrape the top to smooth if necessary. Fill in any air bubbles with your leftover frosting and scrape away to smooth.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed. I think I would happily take that home and use it to make Evie's birthday cake.
That's good. Yeah.
There's a bit more cover up to do. There are holes to fill and fix, but you can do that. You can do that with fruit or stencils or whatever. It gets you a long way there. That's what happened to our...
That's where the extra went.
It's all in there.
Wonder how that happened. I don't know if it's the fairest test of the product. We've done it straight out of the box. It's our first attempt. But it does say caking made easy. And I would say it's made easier, but it's far from easy. And there's a huge expense when you get these cakes. And if they go wrong, even slightly wrong, it's an incredibly costly mistake.
Don't use it to make your first wedding cake. That's definitely some good advice.
And don't have one go at it.
Don't have one go at it. Well, let's talk about price. How much do you think the full kit cost?
38, 40 quid.
I had £30 in my head.
£74.75.
Goodness me.
Oh, that's
a lot.
That's a lot.
You're buying into the confidence of having something made easy. I don't think it's easy, but somebody's done the thinking for you. You could DIY it with a bit of acetate, which would cost you a few quid.
If it was half that price, I would buy it. I don't think at that price level, it's easy enough to warrant getting it.
So the frost form, a piece of wedding cake or a frosty reception?
I'm afraid it's a frosty reception.
It's a frosty reception, unfortunately.
Final one, number 4, lift the cloche.
Polygons, the flat 3-in-1 measuring spoons.
This is potentially genius. I have seen this. I have seen articles on this. I am excited to try it.
These are the Polygons spoons. Introducing the flat 3-in-1 measuring spoons which are invisible when not in use.
Pretty much.
Where'd it go?
They're magnetic, so not only do the magnetic properties ensure the spoons stay in place, it also means they can be stored conveniently. Saves on waste. The Polygon spoon can flatten to ensure every last bit is scraped off. Easier to clean, good for use with wet or dry ingredients.
I have seen these and various Instagram or similar videos and have been intrigued by them because they look too good to be true.
Too good for what? To be true.
What do you mean?
You say they look too good to be true, but too good for what?
For like, if you do a tablespoon of honey, you know you dribble it, but you can't ever get the last bit out of the groove. With this, it's flat, you just scrape it off. So you've weighed out exact amounts.
Like you would do with a spoon?
We've got an array of spreads, sugars, honey for you to practice and test this with to see if it is as convenient as perhaps they tell us.
Should we try a tablespoon of honey?
Yeah.
Look how much is missing and left. All of that you missed.
Am I missing something?
No, but I think maybe you are. I mean, the purpose that these have been designed for is you love your tablespoon or the dessert spoon in front of you, right? So
But it's not that I love it, it's just that I have 10 of them at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they are one size.
With spices and dried things, kind of useful for wet and dry.
It then collapses flat so that you can spread the remaining debris into whatever you're cooking.
And it stores really wonderfully in a drawer or pocket.
Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad, but that's the concept that they're going for here.
Okay, fine.
So now do you get it?
I understand it.
Now, in the video that I've seen, they actually use the flat edge to spread the honey on toast. So does it double up as a spreader?
So should I try and get a teaspoon of honey and spread it onto my toast?
If you want, yeah. Ebba's, you're weighing out some sugar.
Some dry stuff. So if I want, hypothetically, half a tablespoon of sugar, but then maybe I want a larger, like a tablespoon of a different dried option.
Yes.
I would say they're a little flimsy.
I can't get a teaspoon of this honey because every time I do it, it closes on it. So the magnets
So
close.
in terms of actually digging into something more solid.
Need leverage? No, it's gone.
Okay. Well, we found its limitations.
I would say maybe more measuring spoons for kitchen and baking than using at the table.
Yeah.
I didn't really anticipate it to be crockery and cutlery. What you do is you're substituting all of those measuring spoons that hang together. They get really awkward because they don't stack together and they're just awkward in the cupboard.
That's definitely where I see it.
I like the magnetic touch. I like the fact that it is multiple shape and size in one. I actually think it's pretty much only any good for dry stuff. So spices, salt, sugar, and the alike. Sticky stuff like honey, we went straight in at probably the most challenging. I don't really know if it's much good. What I like about it is the fact that somebody has gone out their way to challenge something that existed for 3 millennia.
Yeah.
Arguably doesn't need fixing, but I would say a stack of 4 different measuring spoons rattling around in the corner of your cutlery drawer and then trying to use is a pain. This is much more ergonomic and it feels good. I think maybe I was quite impressed with it in theory.
Spaff?
If I came here from Mars and realised that I needed to get things from one place to another in small measurements, I'd buy a set of spoons. They're multi-purpose. Yes, they're great for measuring things and getting the in the kitchen, but also great to put in your mouth. It might be one of those things that doesn't need reinventing.
Okay, let's talk price. How much do you think the set of 2 retails for?
$9.99.
Probably twice that, $19.99. It's not worth that, but I think that's what they might be.
We purchased these for £14.99.
Oh, smack in between the pair of us.
Bang in the middle.
Well, the question, the polygon spoon, a genius new angle, or have they polygoned too far?
They have polygoned too far.
Agreed.
Well, what did you make of those gadgets? What are your thoughts? Share them with us down in the comments below, and please do continue to suggest gadgets that you've seen from all around the internet and wherever you're from for our chefs to test next.